Alright, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week, I am doing something a little bit different. The last couple of weeks, I don't know about you, but I have been super obsessed with the TV show The Circle, which is on Netflix. The second season of the American version just dropped a few weeks ago. I've been watching it as it comes out. All the episodes have aired now. One thing that I've been thinking about the most while watching this show is how bored the contestants must be, because basically, if you don't know, they're living in these little apartments and it's a competition, and the only way they can communicate with each other is through this social media network thing called The Circle, which is just text. And I think that I would get freaking bored in there and I would want to read some books. And there are some clips of some of them reading books in their downtime on the show. So I thought I'd go through each of the contestants of this new season of The Circle and give them some book recommendations of how they could pass the time. All right, my first recommendation is for Bryant. Bryant is very down to earth and chill, really into meditation and yoga and some other alternative lifestyle sort of things. He's very easygoing, not very stressed at all, and very optimistic and happy. He sees the positive in everything. And I think that Bryant needs to be kind of taken down a peg. I think he needs to meet the rest of us where we are in our, eternal suffering or whatever. So I thought he could use a really depressing book just to remind him that there are other things going on in the world. So I'm recommending A Little Life to Bryant by Hanya Yanagihara. This book is super depressing. It's not fun to read. It's not a pleasant experience. It's really miserable and makes you feel awful about yourself and the world. And I think that's exactly what Bryant needs to kind of balance out his positive energy. All right, Savannah. We don't see that much of Savannah. We don't get to know her that well. But I think a book for her would be American Royals, which is written by Katharine McGee. This book I haven't actually read, but it's on my list. I'm going to read it. It's about kind of an alternate history of if royalty existed in North America. And based on Savannah, her kind of attitude, I think she'd kind of vibe with some of the characters. Next on my list, I have Terralisha. Terralisha is involved in a lot of drama very early on in the season of The Circle. I think that she kind of bit off more than she could chew at first. Things got more dramatic than she anticipated. Things got way overboard, blown out of proportion. The book I'm going to recommend for her is Ladies Who Punch. This is a nonfiction book about all of the drama going on behind the scenes at The View. And I think she could learn a couple things about being a bit more calculated and manipulative and how to actually start drama that doesn't get you eliminated from your competition show. All right, next we have Emily, aka Jack. Jack is catfishing as Emily, who I can't remember if it's a random girl or someone he knows or an ex-girlfriend. I think it's a friend named Emily who he's pretending to be in The Circle. And spoiler alert, he gets exposed because he doesn't really know anything about makeup or other things that a girl his age would absolutely know.
My hair's down the toilet, bro.
So I think Jack should be reading To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is a book that a lot of girls his age would have read or at least be familiar with. It might help him kind of get in the mindset of a 20-year-old girl and maybe understand better where he's going wrong in the competition. Next up, we have celebrity house guest or celebrity competitor Lance Bass.
Lance Bass?
What's NSYNC?
AKA Lisa, his personal assistant. I think Lisa needs to do some homework, so I'm suggesting that she reads the book Out of Sync by Lance Bass. She seems to forget a few details and lose a bit of believability in her catfishing skills, and I think kind of reading Lance's words and familiarizing herself with his way of thinking and some of his ideas will absolutely help her out in this competition because she starts to stray a little bit from things the real Lance Bass would actually say, and that kind of gives her away. All right, next we have Kat. I think Kat was my favorite competitor in the season of The Circle. I loved her competitiveness. She's a successful athlete. She plays volleyball. She seemed like she was having a great time. She didn't take anyone's shit. She was my favorite. I recommend for Kat the book Swing Time by Zadie Smith. This is a book about two best friends and one becomes very famous and successful and kind of about their relationship as they grow up. It's one of my favorite books. Zadie Smith is one of my absolute favorite writers. And I think that what that book says about friendship and success and competitiveness really resonates with Kat and could be a nice grounding tool for her while she's in the circle. All right, next up I have Mitchell. I had kind of a hard time coming up with things for Mitchell. His whole plot line is that his mother and brother were on the first season of The Circle, and now he's kind of following in their footsteps. So the book I'm recommending for him is Postcards from the Edge by Carrie Fisher. This is kind of a fictionalized memoir all about Carrie Fisher and her relationship with her mother, who is also an extremely famous celebrity. So I think that some of the themes of kind of being in your parents' shadow would really resonate with Mitchell and help him stay focused while he is trying to do what his family couldn't and win the circle. All right, River. Oh, River, aka Lee. This is another catfish that we have going on here in the circle. And this is a older gentleman who is a gay author pretending to be a young man. And I don't know if you've looked up and seen what his books are, what this man has been publishing. I mean, you can tell from the covers the vibe we're going with here for these books. So I think he needs to familiarize himself with some more contemporary, younger, queer literature. So I'm recommending On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is a book all about a queer Vietnamese young man moving to America and kind of finding himself through his youth. It's beautifully written. I've skimmed through some of Lee's work, and I don't think he really paid that much attention to his prose. So I think you might be able to learn something from reading a semi-autobiographical novel from a poet's point of view. It might give him some inspiration to kind of flourish his word choice a little bit. And maybe write something better. Sorry. All right, Courtney is next. I really liked Courtney. He played as himself, not a catfish, except he told everyone that he's a Starbucks barista when he's actually a pop culture writer. I think Courtney is very smart, very witty, very fast, and was a very strong competitor on The Circle. I'd recommend the book Trick Mirror by Gia Tolentino for him to read. This is a book of essays that kind of focus around the media and pop culture, and it's very thought-provoking. I think he'll really enjoy what that collection of essays has to say about kind of our identity and the media in general, and would be right up his alley. All right, we're almost done. Next up, we have Chloe. I think Chloe is kind of the fan favorite of the season. She actually did win fan favorite, I think. But I love her. She's hilarious. She was on Too Hot to Handle, another Netflix game competition show. And she's from the UK and is the only kind of foreign competitor in this season of The Circle. As the season goes on, we really see how smart and thoughtful she is and how good of a game she plays and how good she actually is at being strategic. However, there's a few little details of life on Earth that she's not quite up to speed on, and she might need a little refresher from her school days. So I'm recommending the book Sapiens, which is a nice little recap of human history, which might just be a good reminder of kind of how the world works and how we got where we are. And last but not least, we have Trevor, aka Delisa. This is our last catfish and our last competitor of the game. I really liked Delisa. She was in it to support her family. She just wanted to win the prize money to buy a house so that her daughter had a place to grow up and call her own. I think she played a really great game, super strategic, but never was really that manipulative or deceitful. For her, I'm recommending The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is a found family story, and it's all about adults doing everything they possibly can to make life better for some children. And I think that she has that similar mindset playing The Circle and is always reminding herself that she's here for her family. All right, I do have one little bonus entry, and that is John. John is two eliminated players coming together to get a second chance at a $100,000 catfish money. And since it's two players playing as one person, I thought the obvious choice was a classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Since, you know, Jack and Lisa were kind of an odd couple, if you will, playing as John. Anyway, that's my recommendations. Tell me who your favorite player was on The Circle. What books do you think they would read in their quarantine life on TV? And stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.